All right, a very energetic speech on the part of the president to try to galvanize and bring back the Democratic base. He's having a problem with fellow Democrats in the House, at least 3 of them, and potentially a fire brewing in the United States Senate with Mark Warner reportedly considering leading an effort to sort of sound out other Democrats as to whether Joe should go. Then you have this sort of rebellion, if you will, among some Democratic donors, including Netflix co-founder Reed Hastings. He's joined calls for the president to step aside, as filmmaker and heiress Abigail Disney says the same. Philanthropist and Democratic operator Gideon Stein all withholding donations until Joe Biden drops from the ticket. Reaction right now from a big GOP donor on the Republican side, Andy Sabin, kind enough to join us. Andy, normally donors begin to pull back when they feel that there's little chance that the candidate they're backing has a shot. I know early on in this race, I think you were looking at Ron DeSantis, and then, of course, you saw the lay of the land. I'm just wondering, is that what's going on with Democrats, just on a much larger scale?
Well, I'll tell you something. As a Republican donor, talking to donors, Democrats, and the Republican donors would like to see Joe Biden stay in the race. We see a landslide victory. We see him bringing in the down ticket, the Senate and the House. I have in front of my house, I already have, I don't know if you can see this. This is a Trump. My Trump signs are already in my yard in a left-winging town of East Hampton. But I tell you, Neil, the important thing is, at least for me and a lot of the people that are Haley donors and the people that kind of say, I'm going to hold my nose and vote for Trump, the VP choice is extremely important.
Has that changed the math for you then, Andy? For you, I do want to get back to talking about what's happening with Democrats now, but that this has changed maybe the strategy for the type of running mate Donald Trump should choose. In that case, who do you like? Who do you think is better fitted right now?
Well, I'm looking at yours and look at mine. This is a Fox News Harris poll. If you look at every one of these candidates, okay, you see these are more likely to vote for Trump or less likely based on the VP choice. The only one above zero is Tim Scott. Stefanik's way down at -11 and Bergen is -6. Rubio and Ramaswamy barely make it to 0. And there we have Scott at +6.
But now, it's only those first 3 individuals, Andy, right now we're told is on this short list that, Bergen, J.D. Vance, and, of course, Marco Rubio. Nikki Haley had raised last week in a warning to Republicans, it seems, the importance of what would happen if a Biden were to leave the race and they choose someone young. Obviously, the vice president fits that bill. Could be other candidates, but that she didn't say as much about who the president or the former president should pick, but that this has changed the equation a bit and put more focus on a young candidate, younger candidate, if the Democrats go that route. What do you think?
Right. I agree. On June 19th, Tim Scott held the Great Opportunity Summit. There is not one vice presidential choice that could have gotten together the likes of Ken Griffin and Mark Rowan and Andreessen and Bill Aikman, all in favor. Tim, whoever gets the vice president job, is most likely, if there's a good 4 years, going to be the next president.
But does that person need to be a money raiser? Donald Trump doesn't seem to be having any problems raising money. For that matter, neither does Joe Biden, boasts what this debate, disaster though it might have been. So is that less of an issue? You seem to be saying it should be more of an issue now.
I got to tell you something. I've been impressed with, I watched the debate, and I'm got to tell you, for the last few months, I've been impressed with Trump because he was able to control himself and keep his mouth shut.
Okay. Andy, thank you. We'll see what goes on here and what kind of decisions are made. Finish that thought. I rudely interrupted you.
I'm sorry, I didn't get that, Neil.
No, I wanted you to finish your thought. You seemed like you were going to add something.
No, I'm saying that don't laugh. The gag order was the best thing that ever happened to Trump.
Okay.
And he's learned to control himself. He showed it very well during the debate. And if he can get to the election without going off on a tangent and saying a bunch of nasty things, this is his election to lose. He should win by a landslide. And bringing in Tim Scott probably guarantees him that he will win by a landslide.
All right, so you're obviously keen on Tim Scott. And you're right, Donald Trump was very focused and kept to his message. Some people quibble with what he was saying, but the fact he said it very well and it was a clear narrative, it was a big difference and contrast. Andy, great seeing you again. Andy Sabin on all of that.
Have a great.
You too.
Hey everyone, I'm Emily Campagno. Catch me and my co-hosts Harris Faulkner and Kaylee McEnany on Outnumbered every weekday at 12 p.m. Eastern, or set your DVR. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page for daily highlights.